We're joined now by Chris Farrell, the Director of Investigations at Research and Judicial Watch. Great to have you with us, Chris. We've just heard the President give a terrific speech out in Youngstown, Ohio, a friendly crowd of supporters who are Trump Democrats, sending, I think, a pretty important signal back to the Dems, particularly in leadership on Capitol Hill. I think, though, we have to go to the issue of what the Democrats are doing. John Brennan, Barack Obama's CIA director, openly calling for government revolt if the president were to order special counsel Robert Mueller fired. I mean, what is going on? I understand the deep state, its efforts to delegitimize, to subvert this president. This is over the top. At what point does John Brennan, is he engaging in sedition itself?
Yeah, Brennan should be the subject of an investigation based upon his performance as CIA director, and certainly with these outrageous comments coming out of the, I guess he was at the Aspen Security
Yeah,
Forum.
the left-wing Aspen Institute, so-called security. These are the same people who provided the security, so-called, at Benghazi.
This is, I've actually been up to Mount Olympus and participated in that forum, the rarefied air of Aspen. And I can tell you that that's the sort of place where where James Comey stood around and kept referring to terrorists as troubled souls. So I mean, it's a fantasy. It's a fantasy land for leftists. People have got to be honest
about this. I mean, we have got a set of officials: James Comey, John Brennan, and there are others from the counterintelligence and intelligence community. I mean, they are absolutely beside themselves at the fact that President Trump is taking this nation in a direction they never dreamed possible because they lack the guts, the principle, and the vision to do so.
They're actively undermining his presidency. It's a silent or soft coup, and the kind of speech that the president just delivered drives them out of their minds. It is the antithesis of what they believe in.
Founding values of this nation and the shared heritage and culture of all Americans. It does drive them mad, and good for the president, which I think he talked about what we share for 15, 20 minutes before he got to any issue that anybody could consider even divisive or controversial, and those people would all be on the left, the extreme left.
And frankly, even the Republican leadership needs to pay attention and snap to when it comes to the message the president sent. It's very powerful imagery. And that imagery, too. This is a president who says he's disappointed with Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General. Jeff Sessions has disappeared for weeks. He has recused himself in one of the most difficult and controversial and what has to be surely the most frustrating issue this president is facing, and that is an investigation by Robert Mueller, a special counsel whose job was created by the man he fired as director of the FBI. Yeah. And the Congress was played for fools, as was the Justice Department, and did the bidding of a man who should never, in my judgment, have held the office of director. Let's just cut through all the double talk and all the Russia craziness. No one can name the criminal predicate. We do not conduct investigations, criminal investigations, of people. We conduct investigations of crimes that have occurred, and we identify suspects and subjects. You know, they've turned this entire process on its head. They who have turned the process? Well, part of it is some people like Rosenstein and Mueller and
the Deputy
Comey.
Attorney General, the Special Counsel, and the chairman and ranking members of the Senate and House Intelligence Committees, the Oversight Committees, who are behaving awfully. These are people behaving ignorantly and outside the law and outside the traditions of this country. We have created, allowed to be created, a force within our government, the special counsel, that is outside the law, outside our traditions, and outside the scope
of the people who are supposed to be governing this nation through their
Correct.
selection of both the Congress, the Senate, and the President of the United States.
Mueller is disqualified just by his association with Comey, number one. And number two, we don't investigate people until we find a crime. That's Stalinist, frankly. That's not the way we operate in this country. And no one has yet been able to name the criminal predicate.
Real quickly, we've got a hard break coming, Chris. Do you believe that if the Attorney General Sessions opens up the investigations on the Clinton Foundation, the Clinton emails, the Clinton corruption, and the actions of certainly the Attorney General of the Obama administration, would he keep his job?
That's what he needs to do. If he doesn't do it, I think that's when he goes away, frankly.